Okay, hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jeneth and my guest today is Chelsea Clarke of HerPaperRoute. And I came across Chelsea in Pinterest, and that's not a place that I usually look for people to interview, although her work and everything that she's done has really caught me by surprise. And she does things quite different than us direct response marketers. And I really thought it would be of value to have a conversation with her and take her really deep into some of the specifics, from how she crafts her vision to grow her audience, how she engages them, and also how she's really grown and today's now selling some really awesome products. One in which we are going to give you a special offer to at the end of this call. And if you're interested, the link will be below. Chelsea, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Gosh, oh my gosh. And I'm kind of enamored with what you've done on Pinterest. I mean, you have this massive following, and I know that that's really been your place to grow your business, or maybe I should ask, is that really your place for growing your business?
It's definitely been the place that has, led into all the other channels that I've used to grow my business. So Pinterest has been like really critical. And I've really found that there's a big audience there of creatives and just content creative people that I think people a lot of the time they think Pinterest is just for crafts, DIY, cooking, and of course that's huge there, but there really is a big community of entrepreneurs there too. So that's sort of where I have started to grow my business, and it's taken off from there. So it's really cool that it kind of grows, snowballs up and up, which has been good.
Love that. So take us back. Like, when did you start your business? How did you start your business? What were some of the big obstacles or struggles that you had when you began?
For sure. Well, I started my first blog or first business way back in college in the early 2000s. And it was just like a Tumblr blog. It wasn't monetized. And back then I didn't know that you could actually make a real income, a real living from a blog. So I was just sharing pictures and writing stories. And eventually I was like, well, I'm in school for marketing. I work now in marketing. Why am I not applying this to the thing that I love doing, which is writing? And when I kind of connected the two, it just all made sense and it clicked. And so I started a couple little niche blogs. I started with a beauty blog as a monetized one, like a serious one. And I monetized it with beauty products and hair stuff and all affiliate marketing. And I ended up making some good money from it, about $5,000 a month. And a year later, I decided, okay, I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to exit. And I sold that blog and developed HerPaperRoute. And so that is my main business now. And that has kind of grown into other little niche sites. But HerPaperRoute is all about marketing and entrepreneurship and just kind of like going for what you want to do. So that was the beginning stages. And when I started it, I had just had a baby and I was on my very measly maternity leave. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go back to my corporate marketing job. I want to just do this full time. And so I just got really serious about it and I just went all in. And I mean, people at the time, they thought I was crazy. My husband was like, blogging isn't a job. What are you doing? You're spending so much time in front of your computer. Like, what's going on here? And I just kind of had to focus, and I had a vision and I went for it, and it worked out.
Well, one of the conversations I really wanted to have in this season was really about crafting a vision, getting really clear on exactly your goals for the year. And I want to chat with you for a minute about, how do you, like, at the end of every year, how do you review? How do you kind of craft, well, what do we want to change or create new and different for 2020?
Yes, and I do that. I've always done a year-end review. I sort of look at all of my monthly profit and loss sheets, and I find out what's working. I look at my email list, what people were clicking on, what they were interested in. I look at my course sales, and I survey my audience. I always send a year-end thing like, what do you want from me? I just ask straight up, like, I would love to teach you what you want to know. So what is it? And I always like pull my audience, as I say, And I've found that those year-end reviews, they're really helpful for me, like to get focused, know what worked, what didn't, and what I want to do in the new year. But what I found is that my audience really likes it too. And it's helped other people to sort of see how much I spend, which you'll always hear about bloggers saying how much they earn, but it's really important to know how much people spend too, because like any other business, there's expenses, there's things that you don't think about. And if you're trying to develop it into a full-time career, you have to be prepared for those expenses.
You share that with your audience?
I do. Yeah, I share everything. I'm totally visible about it all, because some of my courses I teach about starting a blog, and there's no point in me saying, you can do it, you can make 6 figures, you can do this, you can that, if I can't show what I've been able to do myself. So that's something that's been important.
The full transparency. I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And really keeping the audience in the loop to see what they want next. What do they need? What's the missing piece in the marketplace as well? Absolutely.
Yeah, like community is very, very important to me. And, I have a personalized relationship with people. I respond to all my messages myself. Like, I really want to know where people are at and what I can do to help them get to that next step.
Right. So I have just like loads of questions. So the first, from going from that leg, so tell us, like, is there something new or innovative that you're crafting for the new year? Will you share it with us?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share it. I'm working on I have this first course called the Clarity Kit, and it's a year-long one-on-one sort of virtual mentorship that walks a blogger through starting the blog, what to focus on in month-by-month blocks until you're monetized in different ways. So I'm developing that into something that extends beyond the year. So anyone who has signed up will be able to have it forever, for lifetime, and all the future updates. So I'm focusing on that. And I also am currently recording season 2 of my podcast. So that is taking up all my time right now, with season 2 going to be coming out in the new year. And then just the regular things like keeping up with the course content, and just always being able to provide some new resources for people.
Yeah. Now, do you batch your time? Is that what you're doing with your podcast, is kind of batching it all together and then it'll slowly roll out? Or
for sure. I definitely batch. I have to have things all written down, and I have to have a plan, sort of even when I wake up in the morning, to know what today is going to be about, because otherwise I'm just going to get totally scattered and nothing will get done. In addition to this blog that I run, I also run a website called Blogs for Sale, and that's where I help other bloggers sell their websites. And so that is growing now too, and that's becoming really busy. So it's more important than ever that I just have all of my projects lined up, and I have like my goal planner with me, and I just kind of keep it like I have to stay focused, otherwise all of the plates will fall.
Now, do you make like year goals, month goals, week goals?
I like to do things in month goals. Yeah, so I definitely go with monthly blocks, because I find that thinking of things in 30 days, it just makes things feel much more manageable. And, I can see the bigger picture in 6 months, what I want to be doing, but I'm just focusing on the foundation that gets me there month by month. If I try to take it all on at once, it's just going to be too overwhelming. So I always recommend to my students too, like, pick 1 month and make that your focus. Pick the one project that you're going to promote that month, the one thing that you're going to get your audience excited about that month, or the affiliate product that you're going to run a certain campaign for, and then the next month take on the next thing.
Okay.
And so that's what's worked for me.
Yeah. No, I've usually focused on 90 days. In my world, like I even write myself like a note, like in 90 days we'll be experiencing this. Yeah. No, and it kind of makes me want to try 30 days. It's kind of like a little bit more like a sprint, right?
Yes.
What can we do in 30 days kind of thing?
Exactly. You kind of put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah, right.
And if you're writing content too, you're also kind of thinking ahead like a magazine editor. So you're thinking about upcoming holidays 3 or 4 months in advance. So that's on the back of your mind, and you're planning out the content that you're going to release in time for Christmas. Maybe in September, you've already got your holiday content out. But it's those like day-to-day goals where you know you have a big stack of emails and you have your new course launch that you want to get done, or whatever it is. You're just focusing on those certain things that you want to get done that month.
Yeah. Do you also put your fitness things in there and health and?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like pretty, like, I have a dog and a 3-year-old, so they just keep me pretty busy running around the house and running around the yard. Yeah, that's like as far as my like fitness goals go right now. But yeah, and I love to cook at home, so it's always like just being able to whip something up. Like I love like curries and, you know, Indian food and Thai food and stuff. So it's always like healthy vegetables and whatnot. I don't think too much of it.
Well, so I wanted to go into Pinterest a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and I know a few things, but you know, I find myself getting, you know, kind of swamped by it. It's like it almost gets to, oh, I made another picture. What's the point?
Yeah.
So what are some of like the really golden nuggets, the hack among hacks for using Pinterest as really a search engine?
Yes. And you nailed it. Like, yeah, it is a search engine. And no matter what type of business that you run, just get onto Pinterest and create some boards that are niche specific for what you offer, what you sell, or what your content is about. So you create a Pinterest board and you fill it with your keywords. So the description, like the description of the board, the title of the board, and you only pin pins that are related to that niche and those keywords. Sorry, someone's at my door.
No
sorry,
worries.
I'm so sorry. My apologies.
Another Amazon order.
Yeah, exactly. Like something for Christmas.
Nice, beautiful.
Back to business. Yeah, so the Pinterest boards, you're filling it with keywords, you're pinning your niche specific content to those boards, and then you create another board with completely different keywords, but they're still in your niche. And all of your content about that goes into that board. And I think that really focusing on your own boards right now is really important. We used to say, go into Pinterest and join a whole bunch of group boards with other pinners. But now those aren't really working as well. So create your own boards, pin every day, create new pins every day. So what I mean by that is create multiple pins for the same sales page or the same blog post. And that way it just keeps your account active. And when you're repinning, like pinning other people's related content to your own. And if you just kind of stay working within your niche and the things that really interest you, you'll find that it's a lot easier to grow and your traffic to those sales pages will grow a lot faster.
Right. So if you write a blog post on chia seeds or whatever it may be, and we might want to use a marketing example next, but say you write something on chia seeds. And so then you're thinking there should be like maybe your chia seed pictures on 5 different posts and then like a different headline. Is that what you would recommend?
I would recommend that too. And I'd also say include text in your pins because Pinterest is one big billboard and people are scrolling along and you really have to jump out and catch someone's attention. So the more like clever you can be with your the text on your pin, make it something like an incentive that people will want to click it because they want to know more. Like you give them a teaser of something.
Right.
And
can you give us a couple examples?
Yeah. So when I'm blogging about when I'm pinning about, say, something to do with marketing your business and you want to get more eyeballs on something that you're promoting, you could say something like 10 tips to avoid X. And X is the thing that your target market is afraid of happening.
Right.
Something like you won't believe what happens if you did this, and this being the thing that most marketers are doing.
Right.
So you just
hooky, like really hooky.
Exactly. Hook people in because there's so much content out there. There's so much competition. Just what you can do to get someone to click on your pin as opposed to what other people are doing. And make sure that you go and you look at what other people are doing. What are other people pinning about that sell the same thing as you or a similar product to you? And
you usually pin those to a board too, don't you?
yeah, it's always good to support other people, support other people in your similar niche as well. Definitely. I think people can be like, oh, but it's competition. But, your market, they're pinning those pins anyway. So they may as well see it from you. And, just keeping people engaged with not only your own stuff, but of everything that can educate someone about what it is that you do. It helps.
Right. Okay. So people that really want to play with Pinterest, you're thinking, or you're saying, or let me just kind of go through this and add kind of my 2 cents because I don't know it as well as you. So you should really focus on 2 things. One, hunting down and searching for people selling what you're selling. Now, would you recommend having a marketing ideas board, and then you would pin all those publicly? And then some of those you might model if you can talk about that and an expertise.
Yeah, it's always good to stay educated on what's going on in your business and what other people are pinning and teaching about your business. Never go and copy. And I know you wouldn't, but just if anyone's listening, never go and take what someone else wrote and copy it, but always go and read other people's posts and see if, hey, can I build on this idea? Can I make this idea more in depth? Can I offer some additional training to something like this? And then you go and you write your own content that is bigger and better and 100% unique, but just gives people more than you're seeing your competition doing. And it is the same as Google search SEO. When you're on Pinterest, you're looking at other people just like you are to see who's ranking on the first page of Google. And you can actually use the Pinterest ads tool to see what keywords people are typing in. You go in and you start setting it up as if you were going to do a promoted pin campaign. And then you can access that tool and you'll see how many monthly searches keywords are getting. And also, don't be afraid to run promoted pins yourself. That is the fastest way to get people to see your pins and to see your content is using that pay-per-click advertising that Pinterest offers. It's really great. And it's much more affordable than most pay-per-click.
So I talk a lot about Facebook ads and using page transparency. So now that, if you identify a person that is, is sort of like you in comparison or a competitor, when you go and look at their page transparency, then you can find out what ads they're running. Does Pinterest have anything like that when you do promote or bump a pin?
At the time of this conversation we're having, I haven't seen anything like that on Pinterest, but you can work with a Pinterest ads manager and they can help you with more than, they can help you with a lot of things from just setting up your campaign to answering questions. So I wonder if you could contact that rep and ask those sort of questions, if they can give you any of those stats or if privacy policies wouldn't permit that. I'm not sure, but that's really interesting for sure.
No, yeah, that would be so cool to explore for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So really the hack that you have is more pins directing all towards we would call that a lead magnet in my
book. Your lead magnets. Absolutely. If you're going to be running a promoted pin, make sure that the page that you're linking it to, when people land on it, like in any type of marketing, make sure you have a lead magnet to collect those subscribers to your email list, because that is always the biggest thing is your email list. And, we can use all these different social networks and everything, but the most important thing that you have in your business really is that email list and the relationship that you have with your subscribers.
Right. So we're talking a little bit about getting traffic. And so let's talk about really hooking them in and getting them engaged. And why would they keep coming back to you? Because that's really what I noticed that you're really good at doing. I'm like,
thank you.
Who the heck is she? Because it was just like you were all over the place all of a sudden. And I was like, what the heck am I missing?
That's so funny. I wonder if you just pinned something of mine and then Pinterest was like, oh, you like her. Here, let me show you everything that she's ever pinned. Like, I wonder if it just...
Yeah, well, maybe. But And then everything that I was seeing of yours, I was like, oh, I'm interested in that. Oh
Oh,
my
that's
gosh,
so
I'm
cool.
interested in that. So it was kind of like, it just took me down the rabbit hole. So maybe you're right. And maybe it was that there was some sort of language I was using that you were using. Do you have any like specific language that you find that you use in your marketing that, you know, you keep going back to in various pins?
Well, the language that I use when I write, it's really how I talk, maybe a little bit more eloquent than how I talk, but it's conversational.
Mhm.
And it's like I'm just talking to my best friend. It's someone
Right,
that I know. And that's always been the way that I talk. And it's been important to me to not be a stuffy business person, really. Like,
right,
I want to connect with people who are, lit up and excited and want to try learning something new. And I just find that the way that I can connect with people and converse with people is just by being myself. So that's
right,
how I write. And my emails, I send a weekly newsletter, and I keep them really conversational. And when I have a cool product to talk about, I always include it, but it's important to me that I'm not salesy, I'm not pushy. It's just like, hey, I have this cool thing, I'm excited about it, do you want to check it out? Like, this is my review of it. And so when I do my reviews, I go really in depth. I'll make a video, I'll show, really myself how I use something. If I like it and I want people to buy it, whether you buy it from my link or not, I hope that you buy it from my link,
right,
because we're doing all this work. But it's really important
right,
that that you have like all of the information to know if it's right for you or not. And if I can give you the pros, the cons, why I actually like it and why I actually use it in my business, then that's just the way to go.
right. Love that. So traffic to getting them on the list. We talked a little bit about engagement and even copywriting, whether you guys knew it or not. Let's talk about money. Like, how do you make revenue as a blogger? And I mean, go from like dumb, simple, and to, I mean, the big things to the big hacks that you've found.
For sure. And I love talking about this because even nowadays when you see so much content out there about people explaining or showing how they made X amount, it still seems really like, huh? Like, who pays
Right.
the blogger? Like, where are they getting the money from? And even like my own husband, he doesn't really get what I do. So
That's funny.
I will try to explain it the best that I can.
Right.
But I mean, you can start with affiliate marketing even before you have a following yet. You can start it from day one of launching your blog. If you find a product that you love, you can join that affiliate program, write content about it, show a video of yourself using it, whatever it is. And you can make sales from day one if you go and you put it in front of the right kind of people who want to buy it. So write your blog post and then you go into a Facebook group and promote it there. Go into a Facebook group of people who you know are interested in that. So for example, if I was going to write a review of a dog house, like a dog house is the newest thing, it's got like all these crazy lights and all the dogs in the neighborhood want it, I can create my blog post and then I'm going to go to all the different Facebook groups. I'll just search in Facebook dog lovers, dog walkers, like anything puppy related, dog related, animal related. I just go in and I go to all the groups and I see what people are talking about. Some groups allow you to post on the wall. Some groups don't. So you just have to really be aware of
Mhm.
what they allow. And you just go in and you put your blog post in front of people and you show people. And so if you're just starting out, I always recommend that's a great way to start monetizing your blog is with affiliate marketing and you actively going out there and doing that work. And then as your traffic grows and as your subscribers grow, you're going to find that you're going to want other things to offer. So having your own digital products, that's a really great way to earn a living online. So that's like creating an ebook, creating a course, anything like that that just gives your readers more access to you and what you teach and can do. And I also always recommend creating free content. So creating a free course about how to use an affiliate product of yours. That's always going to help you because you're going to get people interested who are interested in the product. They sign up for your course and then you give them some sort of bonus that they then can sign up for the product that you're teaching them about. And
That's really cool. I've never really thought of it that way because I've always had my own courses.
yeah.
Or I've done it where I interview and somebody else has a course and we joint venture and then we share the
Oh
revenue,
yeah.
right? But because that's, I guess, the fourth way, right? So I, that's kind of where I've gotten in line of money, right? In the middle.
I like that. Yeah, any sort of like collaboration. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Any kind of collaboration you can do with other people, like it can just snowball from there because then, like you say, and you're using two different people's audiences. That's the double eyeballs that are seeing
Right, right,
content.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, and then often we both promote, and everything and magic happens, and it's just really, really awesome. Um, but I hadn't really thought of the lead magnet ever like supporting, the affiliate, right?
Yes.
I
Oh,
would have really have thought of that, but that's really, really cool. I could see how I might, there's a few, because some things do need to be explained, and some of those bigger products do need more.
definitely.
That's what you're giving away for free.
Yeah, like say it was a tool that you wanted to teach your audience about, and you know that they give a free trial or not, you can contact your affiliate manager and ask, hey, can you give my readers a full month trial if they sign up to my course? And
Right.
most programs will be like, yes, because they just want more people to try their product, because they will win on the end as well. And
Yeah.
then you just create a free course. It doesn't have to be huge. It could just be like a mini course, a couple videos, or even just text-based, whatever it is, just to get it out there. And offering that extra bonus, like I said before, that can just help with signups, and you just get more people in, and that way they'll sign into your course and then take on the trial, not beforehand. So you're getting, your link used in your course.
Right. Now, Chelsea, do you do YouTube? I'm
I
asking.
Yeah, I
Some.
do have a YouTube channel. I don't have very much
Oh, yeah.
content out there right now, but yeah, I have some tutorials on there, and I have a little bit about Pinterest marketing and blogging,
Okay.
and that's also on my list. I should have mentioned that too, because with season 2 of the podcast, I'm planning on extending the YouTube channel as well. So there'll be more content, video content. I think that's really important,
Oh my God.
especially like nowadays. You can write huge blog posts, and it might be good for SEO, but so many people just want to see it quick. They want the video, and YouTube is just, that's the place to be.
Yeah, no, I'm finding that I'm actually, getting people that think that they like, know, trust me just
Mm-hmm.
by watching, and I hardly have anything up either, but I
Mm-hmm.
have been putting up these interviews lately, as well as actually promoting them to the Apple iTunes. So that was,
Yeah.
a new thing that I tried last year. And it seems to be working okay. Conversion might need a little help, but I'm finding, it's interesting how people, gather your content and then the actions that they take after. So
Yes.
in that thread, what tips do you have as far as engagement, getting them hooked into your world
Mm-hmm.
to get them to continue to buy from you?
Yeah. And it's like I said with the lead magnets and getting people on your list, that is so important. But the next step in that is continuing to provide awesome content.
Mhm.
And like I say, I have a weekly newsletter, and it's just a big deal to me that I keep on providing interesting, helpful content. And I create new freebies and new free courses and just different things that I can keep on giving my audience that's already there, because it's amazing that they are there and they want to stick around and they still want to hear from me. So that I don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
And I think
Pretty
too, like,
incredible. I'm like, what is she up to next?
but it's like, like you do it too. And it's just, you have to keep on thinking like, what's the next thing? What are my audience going to want tomorrow, next week, this year? And just always sort of staying on the tip, seeing what's going on in your
Yeah.
industry, and just being that vehicle to provide the information that people need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but also on that point is offering personalized help is part of what I do too. So people know they can just hit reply and they can ask me anything. They don't have to book me in for a scheduled call. I mean, you can, if you want to have a longer chat, that's available, but you can just reply and email me your question right away and I'll get back to it right away. And I think if you think of yourself less as a business owner and marketer, and you're just more, you do have a business, but really you're there for your audience. You're there to serve them. And if you can, take 2 seconds to reply to an email with something that is probably someone that's really stuck on, and they may have been like trying to figure this out for days, and you can just be like, oh yeah, you just do this, do. You could even shoot a quick little like screencast showing how to do it and send it to them. That really, people are like, wow, like that's wild, but it really doesn't take you too much time or effort, and it really can go a long way to help someone.
Right. It really gets them like, wow, she's really helpful. And if she's helpful in this way, I might actually invest and purchase her coaching programs.
That's right. Yeah.
It's funny because I started my business in 2006. And at that time, the coaches were pretty much like, be untouchable. Like, nobody can touch you. So I had, for the longest time, this mindset of like, no, if they're not paying me, don't spend time and money on them.
Yeah.
And now the market has really shifted. And now I've gotten my assistants, frequent asked questions, things like that. They can provide a lot of that simple information. And then they can also invite them, to have a conversation with me. Then that would lead into coaching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can build up that relationship, and then when they have the next problem, it's a bit bigger. You're
Right.
going to come to mind when they are wondering about that, and you can be like, oh, great. And this is, let's chat about this. Let's have a discovery call and figure this out. And whether they themselves are going to ask for that, they'll recommend you if they hear someone else needs that help. You're going to be at the forefront of their mind because you have that relationship built in with them.
Yeah. And the truth is, people who there's a little dog poking her head in here. The truth is, people that are really true about growing their business will invest in what's required to get where they want to go.
Definitely.
And that, people won't just use you. And like, for one, they don't need to.
Yeah.
Because they can, have 100 million questions and simply just, book a session with you, and then they're free. They're free to create. So that's kind of my viewpoint, that, I'd love to, really focus on attracting just those people that, they get why they're investing.
Definitely. Yeah. They know where they want to go. They might not know how to get there, but they know that if they can figure out the right questions to ask, there are people that can help them. And
Absolutely.
I know when you're just starting a business, a lot of the time you're strapped for cash and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should spend money because I'm not sure if I'm going to get it back. I'm not sure if it's going to work out. I'm not sure if I'm going to even like blogging or running a business a year from now. But when you get out of that mindset and you're like, you know what, I do want to take a stab at this. I do want to do it. And you start investing in those things that will get you to the next step. Everything just starts falling into place, and you kind of get out of that lack mindset of being scared or unsure and those kind of obstacles that are just on you and they don't really exist. And when you know, and when you start spending, you start making the right decisions. Yeah. And you don't have to spend a lot of the time. A lot of the time it doesn't take much investment up front just to get you to that next step, and you just learn more, and then the next time you can figure it out on your own. And I find that really, once you get over that hump, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah. What have you found that are some of the dumb mistakes that you've heard where bloggers just lose money? And let's also talk about what they really should be investing in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a few ways that you can turn blogging into an expensive hobby if you aren't prepared and you don't have a plan. So I think one of the biggest things that new bloggers or even just new business owners get stuck on is they get their website and they get stuck in tinkering. So you keep on trying to, get the color right, get the font right, or there's something that you're like, oh, I just can't figure this out. And instead of going out and even asking in a Facebook forum or Facebook group or a forum, or asking a fellow person in your niche about how to figure this out, you just get stuck doing it over and over again, and you're not putting yourself forward. So if you can notice that you're tinkering and just be like, nope, like we were saying about blocking your time on, on task, it's just going to be a lot easier to get those first few trial and error months going. And on that same
your business like it's a business.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
There's people out there that can help you. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be a professional at every aspect of your business. And repeating without improving, that's another thing. Like you're making the same steps, or the same thing that wasn't working yesterday, you're still doing it today. Like you just have to keep evolving and be willing to learn how to get to the next step. Easy.
I love that. And so what are some of the softwares? I mean, I know we use Canva to make like, what are some of the great tools and resources and apps or softwares that you use that are just like, whoa, I'm so glad I found this?
Yeah. Well, for email marketing, like it's so important to have a good email service provider.
Okay.
So I always say that's like the number one. You don't have to spend a ton. Like I like Convertkit, but MailerLite is great too. MailerLite is more affordable. But I just love what Convertkit does with the tagging of subscribers and it just makes things so much easier and keeps me on it's like the ultimate productivity for email, I find.
So we use Infusionsoft, and we do that because we can also deliver our products through it. Does Convertkit do that as well?
Convertkit doesn't have like a built-in system for offering products, but I just link it to where I have my school. I have my school on Podia, and I just send links out that way.
Cool.
Or on some other websites I sell things on my own website through just WooCommerce, and so it's all just links based. And when a customer comes in, it's connected to my Convertkit, so I get a little notification. They get tagged on the list, so I know what product they bought, that sort of thing, and it's really easy. I'd also recommend that you invest in some sort of scheduler, so some sort of social media automation tool. I use SmarterQueue, which has been really helpful, and that one allows you to post to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and it's all automatic. So you just set up your post once, it'll post, and then a few days or weeks later, it'll repost it again as evergreen recycling. So that way it kind of keeps your social accounts kicking along and brings more eyeballs to what you were posting about that one time more than once.
Cool.
So that's really, I think those are like the two really helpful ones for me.
What about Tailwind?
So I do use Tailwind for Pinterest. And my biggest thing with Tailwind that I love the most is the Tailwind tribes. So that's a really great thing. What it is it's a community of people who are on Pinterest, and they all share their pins into the Tailwind tribes that they're in. And then the other people who are in the tribe who find that pin interesting will repin it from there. So you kind of just get more people seeing your content, and in order to put pins into the tribe, you have to repin other people's content first. So that way it gets everyone responsibly, participating.
That's cool. I've heard that, but I have an account, but I've never really played. So I was curious about that. So then what do you use to create? Do you know like Adobe Photoshop, or do you use?
So I'm a huge Adobe nerd. I have like the Creative Suite. I've used it for years and years in business when I was working for other people. And then now that I have my own company, it's just my main go-to thing. I also have Canva for the quick pins, just do it online, shoot them out. I love Canva, it's great. But doing the bigger products, like doing my printables, doing ebooks, that sort of thing, I do that in Photoshop. And podcast, I record it in Adobe Audition, so that's part of Creative Suite as well. And we shoot our videos, edit our videos with Premiere Pro. So the Creative Cloud Suite, I love it. It's super helpful. And I'm just getting into Lightroom now too, so I'm getting into like presets and making my photos.
Me too. Yeah, that is really cool. I really, really love Lightroom.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I've been amazed, so amazed.
Yeah, it can make just an ordinary, like whatever photo look like a magazine. It's great.
Yeah. No kidding. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like freaking awesome weird.
Yeah, it is. It's like just real life just is kind of boring looking, and then you see it in Lightroom.
And then you just change the colors and you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I know that we put together a special offer, Pinterest marketing. Why don't you share what is exactly in that and some of the results that you're hearing from the people that are getting that course?
Yeah, so absolutely. This is my Pinterest marketing course, and it's great for beginners, and it's also great for people who have been with Pinterest for a while and they're just not seeing results and they want to understand the marketing and the SEO side of it. So no matter what type of business you run, this is like an introductory course that builds on from the beginning to the end, and it gets more and more, it progresses as you go. So you can take it in, smaller sections, and the way that it's set up, you start at the basics and then you learn more and more as you go. And by the end, you'll have a really good handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we start by setting up your Pinterest account, like what you want to include in your profile, so it's attractive to other people and it attracts the right audience to you. We talk about keyword research, what that is, how you use it on Pinterest, and what the results can be for your business by using the right kind of keywords and the right kind of intentional pinning strategy. And I know that sounds like really nerdy, but I promise you it's a lot of fun. And we talk about the design element. So using free tools like Canva, how you can create really great, effective pins with click-worthy titles and appealing colors, and you don't have to have a design degree or anything. You can do it yourself. And also we talk about the type of content that really can resonate with people. And, I'm not going to tell you what that content is exactly, but I'm going to tell you the type of things that you can do and the strategies you can take to find what your audience wants to hear more of. And we also go into your Pinterest analytics as well as your Google analytics. So where you can access all of your Pinterest stats from within Google Analytics. You can see what's bringing in the most traffic and how to replicate that with another pin, and what you can do when you have a pin go viral, what to do then, how to further monetize it and capitalize on all that traffic that's coming in. So that's like in a nutshell what my Pinterest marketing course is about. And it goes more in depth than that, and it's a lot of fun. We've had, I think it's about 3,500 students in it since we launched last year. And it's just growing every day, which is great. I've had some students take it and they're getting upwards of 2 million monthly page views from their Pinterest, and the clicks are up every day. They're getting thousands and thousands of new people coming to their sales pages and their blog posts and whatever it is that they're promoting. So we also cover when you have the fluctuations in traffic. You might have a pin that goes way up one day and way down, and that's normal, but there are things that you can do to kind of keep it a bit more consistent and keep a pin going for the long haul. So once you pin something, it can bring you traffic for years to come.
Some of the sneaky tricks behind
Exactly, the sneaky tricks, and also how to work affiliate marketing into your Pinterest strategy so that you can be earning commissions day or night while you sleep. Years after you pin, you can be earning a commission on something
that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. Wow. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Now, you guys, the special offer link is below. It's just $67. Do you want to share, Chelsea, like how many videos are in that, or does it come in readability or MP3 content? Like, how do they consume it?
Yeah, so it's mixed. There are written lessons, so text-based lessons you can just look at, in the middle of the night on your phone as you're flipping through. That's an easy way to consume it. There's also video lessons. There's over-the-shoulder demos of how I use tools, how I use Tailwind, sort of my Tailwind strategy. So you kind of see exactly what I'm doing, and it's done at a pace that you can follow along. You can pause it, you can come back, and you'll also have lifetime access to everything in the course. So you can always come back and check. And I update this course every few months with new content, because Pinterest is always changing. The market is always changing. The algorithms on Pinterest are always changing, and there's always new information. So once you're signed up, you'll have lifetime access to all the future updates and additional lessons that I add to it.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, you guys, it's below. You can go ahead and click on it and you will get more information. I'm sure there's a page where it's all written out for you, and
Yes,
go ahead and get it. I mean, gosh, if you just make one sale, you've made your money back. So give it a shot.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Chelsea. What a beautiful interview.